Our team had a great response from what happened on Tuesday in our loss at home to Oklahoma. We're not used to losing at home. It was our first regular season non-conference loss since I've been the head coach in 6 years at home. And so we had a bitter taste in our mouth. And I told them it wasn't about what happened, it's about how we respond. And I thought our response was at a high level tonight. Hats off to a great crowd. I knew it would be. I know how passionate West Virginia fans are. When you hired Ross, I knew you hired the right person. The DNA of this program is toughness and strength and physicality and grittiness, and he's got all that and more. And so there's a lot of great days ahead for Mountaineer basketball. I thought in the first half our first shot defense was really good, but they got 14 offensive rebounds. We fouled too much. They got to the line, and we turned it over. And I thought that really helped them get back in the game. I thought in the second half we did a much better job of getting them off the glass and giving them extra shots. And I thought we did a really good job on our offensive against a team that really pressures you. We got to the third. Every time we got to the third side, we were 1.73 points per possession. That's pretty high against a team that can guard. And our guards got 18 rebounds total because I was on their ass at halftime about not rebounding. It's hard for those bigs to get every rebound, because they're in there. The guards had to come down. I thought they did a better job of that. I thought we showed great patience late in the shot clock, late in the game, getting some really good shots. Nate Calmise ran our offense really well. And then, we had somebody, whenever you win a big game on the road, you got to have great performance by somebody at least. And Juke's been our best player all year long. I think he's one of the most improved players in all college basketball from his freshman to sophomore year, and he's showing it. And he made some big-time shots tonight. And he made them threes. He made them through physicality, too. And so I thought him and Trey did a really good job for us down the stretch. Questions?
Questions for Juke?
Juke, a lot of your threes in the second half kind of came at the right moment, so to speak, just whenever W seemed to be gaining a little bit of momentum, then you hit a three. Can you just kind of talk about what kind of, how that plays into the game? I mean, stopping the momentum kind of shots.
Yeah, speaking on the first half, I hit the first 2 threes and I got into foul trouble and I sat a while. So that time, instead of just sitting there pouting, I just viewed how the game was being played, knowing I'm coming right back in. So that second half, I knew all the right spots to be at. Just from the first half, just sitting there, just watching the game, actually observing what's going on instead of just going in there with a blind eye. So the shots came, my teammates found me, and I'll credit them.
Juke, based on the three-point question, how's it feel to have your career high 7 threes tonight?
Don't let me.
I mean, it feels good. We got a lot of basketball to go, so I'm not just going to focus on this game. We got another game coming up Sunday, so just making sure I'm ready to prepare to have the same game again Sunday.
Duke defensively forced a lot of turnovers, but also a lot of deflections. Was that a point of emphasis coming in? Did you feel like with your length you could affect West Virginia's shorter guards?
Yes, definitely. I feel like the past few games haven't really been into the ball a lot, which was giving up open shots to either the bigs or just putting us out of position. So I knew I had to get into the ball, use my length to get past deflections, and just putting pressure on the person that's dribbling the ball.
Just how important was the start to the second half? You guys got out in the first 4 minutes or so, and that is kind of what the separation was the whole time.
It was very important. We came out slow against Oklahoma, so we didn't want to relive in that moment again. So we made sure we came out and was ready to fight.
Anything else for Juke? All right. Thank you, Juke.
Take your trophy. Questions?
So, Coach, Honor Huff there started to get hot. How hard is it to defend a player like him when even a player is in his face, he can still make a shot?
Yeah, I saw him play at Chat, so I knew what he was very capable of. And, yeah, I mean, there's going to be some times you just don't want to give him a wide open look, but maybe that's better. Maybe you're better off messing with his head and leaving him wide open. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, he made a couple tough ones there to got him going. We had taken the crowd out of it until right there when he went on that little personal 9-0 run in the first half, and a couple of them in transition. a couple of them off our turnovers, right? But yeah, I mean, he's a hard guard, you know, and you try not to foul him, but you're still trying to contest, and I think he draws a foul almost every game from, you know, on a three-pointer. And so, you know, he's so fast. He's hard. It's hard to guard him. And I thought our bigs, I mean, I think a lot of credit will go to our, because we do have bigger wings, but our bigs were at the level when he was coming off those gut actions down, coming up out of the lane. And I thought our bigs were doing a really good job of helping with that.
Coach, a lot of your guys' buckets down the stretch, a lot of action for you guys off pick and rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a play that's been a staple in basketball forever.
Yeah.
But is that something that maybe you guys saw that you could get some good action off the pick?
You know, I think it's more just the action before that. You know, we kept the ball moving. We just didn't. A lot of times late in the game, what happened? A lot of teams grab and they just hold it, and they bring, and they wave the guy up there. I thought we had a lot of good side-to-side action that forced them to have to adjust the help. And then all of a sudden now you run a ball screen and you come off, and now maybe you got a guy in the low spot that's not used to being in the low spot, or maybe he's guarding Juke who's just made 8 threes, and so he's out there hugged, or 7, whatever he made. So it's a combination of those things. I think, you know, and then I think our point guard, he did a really good job of reading what was there, right? And maybe they jumped. I'd have to look at it, but a lot of times it was the roll or the tray, you know. And got to give credit to him for rolling too.
How important was it for you guys with the runs that you guys had, just trying to take the crowd out as much as possible?
We don't win that way. You can't win on the road. You have to respond. You have to respond, and you have to take the crowd out. It's the best feeling in my 37 years of coaching is when you can go on the road and look. I've already said credit to that crowd, right? But if you can take them out, it's a good feeling, because once they get into it, it's hard. And a couple times a night, we heard it, right? And I could feel it coming. And you know, we called a timeout once, and there was a couple times we just had to play through it, you know. And so yeah, it's the response has to happen, or you have no shot to win.
Coach, how important was the run at the start of the second half, just because then West Virginia's chasing you the whole game?
So I mean, you have to, you know, it's the old saying, right? First 4 minutes of the second half were the most important. I don't know if they are. I mean, they feel pretty good. Like, how many times you heard somebody say it on one of them talking head, know-it-all guys, you know? And so it's like, but we did it. I don't like talking about the past, but we didn't do that against Oklahoma, right? And it put us in a hole, and we were playing from behind, right? And then we got up, and then we didn't have enough. So tonight, I thought, yes, coming out and, you know, establishing ourselves early in the second half was important. We held, you know, less points in the second half than they got in the first half, you know. And sometimes with new teams and younger kids, when the defense is away from the bench, it's not always as good. And that's when your mature teams start to mature and become a better team when they can guard away from you, because we're not down there coaching you through every screen and roll or whatever's going on.
Any of that a result of adjustments or tweaks at halftime, or was it just better execution, you feel like?
Probably better execution. I don't think a couple things we changed, you know, but not drastic stuff. Like, we still hedged, you know, we were still up there at the level. Some of it was just guarding better the dribble without fouling, and then getting our guards in there to rebound, because, you know, they usually just send the 4 and the 5, but they're tying up those bigs, and we weren't getting the ball. And so I would say that more, and not fouling. I mean, they got in a bonus quick in the first half. We got in bonus quick in the second half, you know. And so, you know, I don't know. We adjusted a couple things, but nothing I would say that was just that major.
Coach, as the game went on, West Virginia's offensive options were basically Huff shooting a 3 or more getting to the rim.
Yeah.
Taking away those other options, just how important was that? And was that something you guys sensed that they were kind of running out of options?
Yeah, we thought the main option was drive it and get fouled, you know, or get the rebound. But a lot of that is KYP, you know your personnel. And so there's a couple guys out there that you really got to respect from 3, and the rest of those guys are downhill damn drivers. And then I thought we did a pretty good job of controlling the big fella. You know, when he got it in there, we doubled him, you know, and he made a couple good plays out, but also I think we probably made him have to guard too, by the way we run offense. You know, so that kind of neutralized that situation a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, it's knowing your personnel and not getting too stretched. Because this is what Honor Huff does to you. You start making threes, and all of a sudden you start worrying about that totally. Everybody's stretched out, and then those driving lanes open. And I thought we did a pretty good job of staying in those lanes, stripping and ripping, and, you know, trying not to foul when they put their head down and go. And they're a big physical basketball team, you know, and so credit to them for being able to do that.
Coach, what did you notice about Juke just in the way of how comfortable he looked, especially during that second half?
You know, he's been playing like that all year. You know, obviously it hurt us when he got in foul trouble in the first half, you know, and we tried to get it. I'm not one of those guys that won't play a guy because he's got 2 fouls. I think the numbers show that. But we had to be careful about, you know, because of the physicality of the game too. You know, he got his second foul going to the offensive glass. But he just has a very quiet confidence about himself. He's a very competitive person. You never know that about a kid till you get him. You know, he comes from a 3A high school in North Carolina, Salisbury. And so I don't really know that about a kid till you start coaching, but I knew the first couple weeks of summer, his freshman year, he was pretty competitive. And he's worked so hard to get stronger, and he's really worked on his shot. And, I mean, he's really played at a very, very high level since the season started because he has a lot of confidence, and we have a lot of confidence in him.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, we're done.